Hello and welcome to a quick overview on Respondus LockDown Browser and Tegrity Proctor, two separate programs that work together for online testing. First off, we're going to walk through installing LockDown Browser. Here are links to the installation location and a quick start guide as well as system requirements. If you go to the Tech FAQ for St. Mary's University, and you'll start typing into the search box LockDown or Respondus or things along those lines, you'll notice that one of the first hits that comes up is Respondus LockDown Browser Installation and Requirements for Students. By clicking on that link, we come to a page that gives a description of LockDown Browser and its purpose, a link to downloading the browser, system requirements for PC and a Mac, and installation processes, as well as a quick start guide at the end. By clicking on the link to download and install LockDown Browser, we are prompted with Windows or Mac. In this case, I'm a Windows machine. Next, it takes us to, is this going to be installed on your own computer, work computer, or lab computer? In this case, it will be installed on your own computer. St. Mary's University does have LockDown Browser installed on lab computers in the library, Hendrickson Center, as well as residential hall pods. Next, within the download and installation process, you'll see that you've got an option between a download installer from Server 1 or Server 2. Both are identical software installs. If you have problems with one, you're definitely able to use the other. In this case, we'll go with download server 2. It asks to save the file. We can run that file and walk through the installation process. And to save us some time, I'm going to let you run through that while I switch over to my other computer. Feel free to pause your computer at any or the playback of this recording at any point to walk through the steps. Alright, so now you've successfully installed LockDown Browser. By seeing the icon on the desktop, you can double click on it, and this automatically takes us to the Blackboard login page for St. Mary's University. I'm going to go ahead and log in as my test student account. And there are the courses that are listed for me. I'm going to select the appropriate course for the exam. And once I get into the course, the first thing I'm going to want to do is start the Tegrity recording. So I go to Tegrity Classes. And it's not start a recording at the top, but under Course Tasks, you want to select Start a Test. So once again, when you get into Tegrity Recorder or Tegrity Classes, where you're viewing any recordings that your instructor maybe has already put together, you hover over Course Tasks and select Start a Test. And this will bring up the guidelines and expectations for online testing at St. Mary's. Feel free to read through this. Once you do, please click Accept. Okay, and at this point we can see the video of ourselves as well as an audio level adjustment here. So what the Tegrity Proctor piece will do is record video and audio as we take the test, essentially proctoring the test. Alright, so at this point you should see yourself and the frame of view that you have to work within, as well as the audio level. We click Next. And at this point, we want to pull out our student ID, hold it up to the picture so we can see the ID and name, ideally all the information to prove who you are, and then select Take a Photo. At this point, we can retake the photo or go click Next. That's good enough, so I'm going to say Next. And we want to start the Tegrity process. Okay, so at this point I can close out of the Tegrity window and the other Tegrity window that popped up that looks like this. And we are back into Blackboard, starting our Tegrity recording session. I have a dual monitor situation, so I'm going to say record this monitor. And at this point, we have started our recording process. So now, okay, so at this point, we can go into where our quiz is in the course that we need to be taking. So here's the quiz. It's clearly marked, requires respond as LockDown browser, which we are running LockDown browser, the browser that we're viewing Blackboard in, and we have Tegrity recording started, so we're proctoring the test taking experience. Click this, select begin. Alright, and at this point you take the test like you normally would. So we can go through, select some options. Okay, so I've selected my answers. At this point I can save and submit my exam, get a confirmation page. Yes, I want to end the exam and submit at this time. Here are the results. I can select OK in the lower right. The web page you are leaving, we'll try to close. Yes. Alright, so I have effectively taken my exam. In this case, I'm getting feedback right away. Not so good. You should please study for your exam. And at this point, we are done taking the test in LockDown browser. So I can go ahead and close the browser by exiting out in the upper right. Are you sure you want to exit? I'll select yes. And then, down at the bottom of your screen, you'll see the Tegrity recording icon. And this gives you a stop recording button. Go ahead and click stop. Do you want to end? Let's say yes. And that will upload the recording to the appropriate course for that test. And this allows your instructor to see that the test has come in and your process within taking the test. So that is the overview of LockDown browser. So essentially, we logged into Blackboard using LockDown browser, selected Tegrity classes from the course menu, clicked on the course task menu within the Tegrity page, reviewed the SMU testing policy and clicked accept to launch Tegrity Proctor. We verified the webcam was working and the audio level was working. Then we took an ID of ourselves, a photo of ourselves holding our ID, and clicked next. And we began the proctoring experience. So then we went into the exam, finished the exam, closed out of LockDown browser, and then we were able to stop the Tegrity recording and upload it. A few tips and tricks to consider while doing LockDown browser and Tegrity Proctor for test or exam quiz taking is to use a wired connection to the internet. Don't rely on wireless. Makes a big difference, and last thing you want is to have your exam or test or quiz interrupted because of a bad network connection. You should be a local administrator to access your computer effectively for installing computer programs. And do not turn off your computer right away after taking the exam. Allow time for the exam to upload. If I switch back, alright, you'll see that now I have an upload status. The progress had moved from 0 to 100%. I know that my exam has been uploaded and it's safe to power off the computer at this time. If I were to power off while it was still uploading, it would not complete the process and it would not get the file up to the course appropriately for the instructor to see. Alright. And lastly, if you do have problems, please contact the St. Mary's Help Desk. You can call them at 507-457-7800 or email them with a description of your issue, if it's computer related or just kind of walking through. And then there's the TechFAQ as reference to where to download Tegrity Proctor at, the requirements for your computer if you have questions around that, and a quick start guide is located there as well on the page. Alright, best of luck.